And he was the only guy, one of the few guys I saw that ran tufos. He ran tufos and he had different tread patterns, but pretty much everybody else is on Dugast. He's fully sponsored, bikes and equipment. I don't know if he's getting any expenses or any stipend or anything, but equipment he is. But anyone who's not winning is not sponsored. Sponsorship is really hard to come by in Belgium, and it's much more competitive, and the teams and the companies are really tight-fisted. The people in the US get sponsorship easier. So we ended up coming to the finish together and up this sprint, and we're about 10 meters before the finish line right here, and I won in a sprint finish.
Yeah. Nice. The ugly American wins again.
Yep. Here's a photo from the web, so it looks kind of crazy, but this is actually the finish. Mario was a little perturbed that
Just like the last guy.
I was an elite. He was, I think, a little
He was perturbed you were a master, not an elite.
concerned that over there, if you're a masters, you know, that's it. You're a masters. You do not do elite. And if you dabble in elite, that means you're not a masters and you shouldn't be in the masters anymore. And our rules in the US are different. Our rules allow for that, and it's legal and really encouraged, as a matter of fact. But in Europe, it's not. And I had no problems with it because I'm 40 years old. And so I'm like, what, do you want me to be racing the World Cups? Because I'll get killed. So I am a masters, and that's the end of the discussion. Got a bottle of champagne that was sponsored by the ambulance service. And Sally always did a good job with these photos. After the race, flowers and the champagne.
So if he would have won, it would have been like 1,000 euro.
Yeah. And then back to the bike washing. I went up to the pit with Ella, and
good job, Ella.
Ella loves washing bikes.
Nice job, Ella.
Are these pretty huge courses? Like, did you just end up doing maybe 10 laps or so? Or?
No, the lap times are the same as here, 6 or 7 minutes. In the Masters races are 40 to 45 minutes. So the same as here, and you can usually guess it's going to be like a 5-lap race or a 6-lap race. You can guess before. And just like here, they don't put out the lap board until after a couple laps. There's the results of this day. I got another 20 euros. The cool thing here is there was a cafe at the start-finish all ready for the racers, and they had hot soup. It's probably like horse meat or something. So, and you see that little flyer under there, the Flamza, which means Flemish Cyclocross Cup. We had the Hoegaarden, which is the wheat beer, and you see it's in a different kind of glass. So
just in regards to like the World Cup coming to like Louisville or wherever, how on earth are they going to pay for it? Like all these people are paying so much to go to these races, and that's obviously paying these people's, you know, winning fees. How does that work? Do you know?
The World Championships will be different because it's not about making money.
Oh, it's just the honor.
Yeah.
Really?
So you have to be chosen by your governing body to attend.
yeah.
So it's not like these promoters in Belgium for the world, sometimes the World Cups and the GVA and the Super Prestige, they call Sven and they're like, hey Sven, we'll give you 8,000 euro if you show up.
Oh, okay.
They don't. The World Cup you get, or the World Championship you get invited.
Right, they don't have to pay anyone.
Yeah.
So Mario's Facebook page, I snipped this out, and you see it says American Peter Weber schmiert me 1 minute 15. Actually, this was from the previous race. So I translate it, and it's really funny. Google Translate does funny stuff, but it said he smeared me to the bone. So then we had a whole week to kill before the next weekends of races, and one thing we did was went to this great museum in Oudenaarde. It was just 100 meters from our apartment. It's the museum for the Tour of Flanders, the Centre Ronde van Vlaanderen, the center of the Tour of Flanders. And the Tour of Flanders, you know, is really one of the most famous classic races, probably second only to Paris-Roubaix. And this is the route. And it goes Oudenaarde, where it gets real squiggly at the bottom. Oudenaarde is right in the middle. And it's called the Flemish Ardennes, which are the only hills in Flanders. Otherwise, the place is pancake flat. But around Oudenaarde, there's some small hills. And that's where the Tour of Flanders focuses all of the race. And that's where all the bergs are, the climbs, and especially the cobble climbs. So the Tour of Flanders Museum is there. It has all this cool stuff, this old team car. And this is like right in the museum, set up as it were in the day they used it. Jerseys from famous riders like Freddie Martins, twice world champion, and one of the real characters of the old classics. This is, I don't know who's this is. This is probably Museu. Yeah, probably Johan Museu. They have actual bikes there from the old days. This is Museu's bike from that year. And you can see on the head badge, there's that lion decal, which he's the Lion of Flanders. That's his nickname. Johan Museu was the Lion of Flanders. And he won Tour of Flanders 2 or 3 times and is really one of the most famous Belgian riders of all time. They have samples of the different types. Yeah, like the different rocks. There's like gneiss and granite and like limestone or whatever the different rocks are. And if you're a trail builder guy like me, it's pretty cool to like, because I know about the different rocks and their characteristics. And they even have cross sections of what a cobblestone road is made like, with like the crowning and the drainage and all this stuff for these types, 3 different types of cobblestone road. And they have this bike that is on this roller with these big bumps on it that simulate riding on cobbles. So Ella gave that a try. It's pretty fun. And so they have that, and that's Tom Bonen on the right and Stijn de Volder on the left. 2 champions, Belgians. The other cool thing is they have these pre-marked routes, these way-marked routes for recreational riders to do that take in a big part of the Tour of Flanders route. And this is really great for when I was there because I could do all my training rides on the Tour of Flanders bike routes that are all marked. And there are 3 different routes that sort of focus on the cobbles, the hills, or what they call the finish stretch. And if you just follow the orange sign the whole way, it'll take you on like a 72-kilometer ride. And definitely the road riding was just as fun for me as the cyclocross because I love the classics, I love road riding there, and it's just incredible to do. And it would be reason enough to go to Belgium, is just to take in these rides, even if you weren't doing cyclocross. And going during classics week or something would be the trip of a lifetime. So I went out and did these rides during the week. I just did it on my cross bike and cross tires, but it didn't really matter. And they're just great roads like this, where there's virtually no cars and just great scenery. And these things are like as wide as a golf cart path, and they're just everywhere. And you know, it's all farm country. It's all agriculture.
Is that a one-way? Is that one way, or is that two-way?
No, it's 2-way, but There's just no cars. I mean, it's off the beaten track. And all the hills are marked. So here's the Varentberg. It's 1,200 meters long, and it's a max of 16% grade. And every climb is marked. And you have all different kinds of cobble. This is another berg called the Peterberg, one of the famous climbs. You can see the cobbles are really well laid with a nice gutter and no problems at all. And then you see stretches like this where the cobbles are much rougher with potholes and rough edges. And it's just incredibly bumpy. And like I was on a cross bike with cross tires, and I just cannot fathom being on road tires. They're so bumpy.